Welcome back, guys, to Dad and Son Wrestling Reviews. Today we're gonna review the latest AEW show, Dynamite.
Yeah, I'm Dad. That's Son. First of all, as always, a shout out to our Lord and Saviour Jesus Christ. Through his sacrifice, all things are possible. Alright, kicking off the show today was Kenny Omega versus Rocky Romero. How would you rate that one?
6-7.
6-7. Bit of a squash match, just showed off Kenny. These guys have known each other for a very long time, so they've worked off each other well. It wasn't long by any stretch of the imagination, it was just building on Kenny racking up wins and looking good in the ring. We then had a post-match segment where Adam Page, Swerve, and Don Callis all came out, said their pieces, and then Kenny Omega chased after Don Callis, wasn't it? Bit of a funny moment there. Short and sweet, bit of quick, 7-8 minute squash match really. Kenny got to fly around, do a few of his spots, it was good fun to watch. We then moved on to Moxley versus Ace Austin. How would you rate this one?
6-7.
6-7, yeah, this was another title eliminator.
Moxley likes to do those.
Yeah, no one's beaten him yet to have a chance at the title, so Ace Austin looked good. He got some spots in. Moxley looked like a beast. It was a good match. Good way of getting Ace Austin in front of the camera again. Very athletic. Unfortunately, some of the injuries around the Bang Bang Gang has meant that they've sort of fallen to the wayside. But hopefully some of those guys can get back and they can really move that faction forward. I reckon it could be a really good babyface faction to take on guys like Don Callis or even the Death Riders.
FTR.
Yeah, if you can get the brothers back together from the Bang Gang, the Guns, I think you could probably drop FTR's titles to them if they don't do it to the Young Bucks in the meantime. We then moved on to, after that match, Takeshita coming out, letting him know that he beat him in the tournament phase. So he wants a crack at that title. Looks like that's where they're going to go for Revolution, maybe. That'll be a cracker. Those two will go absolutely gangbusters in the ring.
Maybe it's going to be Grand Slam Australia.
Could be a treat for us Australians when they get over to Sydney. I personally think I'll go and end up going to Revolution unless Okada gets that spot and they do something with him costing Takeshita and then build up to him and Takeshita at All In maybe in August. Slow build as they do that bit. I think you end up with maybe Okada, Kyle Fletcher before then as the Don Callis family starts to lose members maybe. Then we moved on to, at the end of that one, we then had Davis and Doyle jump Moxley corner just before it had break. Nothing major to it, just gave him a big slobber knock over knock. That leads into something else on the show, so it might not make sense right now, but it leads into something. Then we had El Clone versus Jay Briscoe. How did you rate that one? Mark Briscoe, sorry.
6-7.
6-7. Both worked hard. El Clone looks good. Funny with some of his heel mannerisms, which is good because sometimes you can get lost behind the mask with those luchadors if you don't know how to use the body language. Obviously, they're very impressive, athletic, but it's good to have some quirks to the personality that gets a bit over more to your American style crowd. Us, we're very Australian. Australians are very American style in their professional wrestling watching too. Briscoe won. Good match, and then we had a big debut. Who was it?
The Psycho Killer.
Yes, Tommaso Ciampa. All those dirt sheets saying that he wasn't going directly to AEW. Got it wrong because he went directly to AEW. Great addition to that roster. Wrestles. If he can do that black and gold style NXT.
What he used to be.
Yeah, getting the belt, Goldie, all that sort of jazz. We'll be in for a treat if he can, because he can still go. So
kind of like what everyone calls Cody Rhodes to Goldie in WWE.
Oh, you mean the quarterback?
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. And then we had MJF come out, went to talk. Brody King interrupted, come out. They went a bit back and forth on the mic, and essentially it set up a match for the next Dynamite, title eliminator again. Maybe Brody gets that big win, and then maybe obviously loses the title shot later. I don't think they're going to put the title on Brody. Not that they couldn't, not that he wouldn't get over, not that he wouldn't represent the company well. But I don't think they're going to take it off MGF anytime soon. Not till at least All In, probably. What do you think?
Like, well, Osprey
Yeah, well,
or Darby Allin.
Osprey's been bouncing around. Maybe that health coming back. Maybe he'll start taking bumps soon. Who knows? Then we moved on to a Young Bucks backstage promo, pretty much saying Super Kick Party's back. They're back, and all the tag team division should be on notice, and they apologised for sort of letting the power get to their head with the ego, all that sort of stuff. So yeah. Then we had the women's world title match, Tekla and Statlander. How would you rate that one? 4? Yeah, they hit each other hard. They had fun. Tekla looked good. Stat got a clean win.
I think Tekla should have won.
Yeah. I can see it. I can see her having the title. I just don't see it yet. I think maybe they end up with all the gold with that little Triangle of Madness thing. But it was good to get her onto Dynamite and having a singles match, and for a high stakes one. You got to see what the hype was around her when they first got her there. Now they've just got to get her on TV, having singles matches more often. I reckon you run it back at Revolution, those two. You could, she could jump her a couple more times and have that shot at Revolution, really. Then we had Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford stand tall at the entranceway, sort of eyeing off the Babes of Wrath, so I think you go somewhere there. Unless they were indicating maybe Megan Bayne has a shot at Statlander, that's another direction they can go to. They can do both, really, the tag and the individual matches. So there's a bit around that world title picture again now. They're kind of a bit focused on the tag team stuff, and just had a sort of a blow-off match with Jamie Hayter and Statlander, where you knew you were going to get a good physical match, which they did. I think now they can do some storyline stuff around it. Then we had a Don Callis segment. They came back and apologised, all that sort of jazz. And then Takeshita wasn't very happy with Kyle Fletcher for accepting an apology. So building on that, maybe the top 3 names in that group sort of split ways and gone elsewhere. We'll see what happens. Then we had a Jungle Boy recap where he got his national title opportunity.
I think they're going to take it off Ricochet.
Nah, and then Ricochet and his boys beat him up at the back quite brutally. They put him through some stage stuff, and then through a table out the back with catering on it.
And probably Jungle Jack Perry accidentally knocked his head.
Yeah, Jimbo's the Gates of Agony are big, strong boys. It must suck to wrestle them, because you won't walk away without a few bumps and bruises with them. They're just meaty boys. Then we moved into the FTR Davis and Doyle tag team title match. How did you rate that one?
7.
Yeah. Great match. FTR does these things to a T. Death Riders came out and cost the Davis and Doyle the match. So FTA kind of escaped the big bruises. They kind of paid back Davis and Doyle for the earlier knock to Moxley. So that's obviously going to lead to something similar down there. I think we're going to have an FTR versus Don Callis family situation where they really kill each other. They've already had that one match, but I think you really build to some stuff around the pay-per-view about it.
You mean Death Riders?
Yeah, Death Riders.
No, FTR.
No, FTR's, they're going to move away, and they'll have the next title contenders, which I suggest might be the Young Bucks. There's big money in that one, unless they want to hold that off for maybe an all-in.
Or maybe that Jet Speed or something.
Yeah, you can go to Gates of Agony. You got all sorts of options there. There's plenty of tag teams. If Bobby Lashley gets fit and healthy, maybe you finally do the Hurt Syndicate versus FTR. That's Revolution. That's a pay-per-view level one. So I think you get it at you probably won't get it at Revolution, a bit close, unless Bobby's been signed off. So maybe the next one, which not sure what that one is. You might even do it Winter Coming or something. I know those ones are coming soon. Those Dynamites. Then we had Orange Cassidy at the back. Got confronted by Wheeler Yuta. Tony Storm came in, did a shtick. It was very funny. Set up a match for the next Dynamite by the sounds of things. So they're going to continue on that shtick where Orange Cassidy and Tony Storm sort of become a mixed tag team duo, taking on Maria Sharifia and whoever she aligns herself with on the Death Riders on the night. And then we went into the main event, Swerve versus Andrade El Idolo. Great to see him on Dynamite. Great to see he got all that contract stuff. I personally thought that was evil by WWE doing those non-compete clause type things. If you don't want somebody, let them go make money elsewhere. Other people might think different, but you're $1 billion company. Why would you hold someone back from going and making money elsewhere and entertaining people? So it was great to see him there. Who won?
El Grande.
Yeah, Andrade won.
A low blow.
Yeah, got a low blow. But technically clean in terms of the ref and all that sort of stuff. So you got Kenny versus him next week, a continuation from when he hit Kenny on the back when he first debuted back, and then had that long hiatus because of the contract thing. He looked like a beast out there. He's got some sort of promo type thing going with some, I think it's a female wrestler from Mexico on the sidelines there. So whether they come in as a manager type thing when he moves away from the Don Callis family, or they just keep that off to the side but keep planting stuff. I don't know enough about it yet, but they'll probably build on that. So that'll be interesting to see. Swerve looked great. Andrade looked great. Good way of holding Swerve back from that title until they're ready to put it on him, maybe.
Maybe he goes for Carter again.
Yeah, could be. Could be everything. I think he stays around MJF somehow, but sort of just things keep getting in his way until he finally gets his chance. Whether he does that as this sort of babyface Swerve, or if he goes heel again, I don't know. But
Babyface.
yeah, he's one of the popular crowd favourites. Even if he went heelish again, I think people just love his entrance and love him as a person in the ring there. So anything else? Wait, what would you rate the show?
6-7.
6-7. Good Dynamite. I think last week's was better, but great one. Great matchups. Swerve in the main event again. Can't argue with that. Look forward to the next Dynamite. This weekend's obviously going to be a big weekend with the Royal Rumble coming up, so maybe they held back a little bit because obviously everyone in the wrestling world's attention is going to be on the Royal Rumble.
And then after they're going to do their Grand Slam.
Yeah, Australian Grand Slam, so that's the next big one.
That's the second Australian Grand Slam except for the Mexico.
Yeah, so it's a big treat for Australia coming up in the mid-February. We're going to get 2 AEW shows, one in Sydney, one in Brisbane.
Wow.
So if you know anybody from AEW who wants to help out a father and son get over across the big wide continent of Australia to get a show and maybe even review it, do something fun content-wise, leave a comment. Not that, but you never know these things. So God bless to everybody out there. Thank you so much for the numbers. It's incredible. Page has blown up in the last couple of days.
There was 2 our first day, first video. Now on our 18th video, we got over nearly 300.
So can't say thank you enough. God bless you all, and see you in the next video.